good evening Philippines and good morning America. Live tayo ngayon on our pilot episode of Percussive Art Society Specialties, Volume 2. So, this is our first event sa 2021. Kamusta kayo dyan? So, we have 34,000 viewers. No, just kidding. Sige, maghintay muna tayo ng viewers. So, kumusta kayo dyan? Yung mga magpapa-shoutout dyan, game, type nyo lang. Then, later, I will entertain some questions to our special guest. So, we are really, really, really grateful for tonight sa guest natin. So, despite of her busy schedule, and she just came from her vacation. So, I saw her IG stories and IG posts. It looks fun. It looks really, really fun. And it's fun to watch her enjoying life, enjoying drumming, enjoying life, her family, her new granddaughter. Her granddaughter is so lovely. Yeah, chinismis ko na yung buhay niya. Oy, okay, sige. Bati tayo dito ng mga watchers. So we have Ryan Peralta, the man behind this stream. Hello. Pen Potente. Hello. Our president, PAS Philippines President, Mr. Satur Yamson. Hello, good evening from Hong Kong. Mavi Comia, hello. Mga FB friends ko nanonood. Danica DJ De Guzman, check niyo yung mga videos niya. Sobrang isa sa pinamagaling na rock drummer sa Pilipinas na female. Who else? Si Mama Tusa Montes, hello. Who else? Sunshine Buela, hello. Thomas Giama, sorry. And Pen Potente. Okay, so much for that. Mamaya mag-shoutout ulit tayo pag may time. So, ito na, hindi ko na patatagalin. I want to introduce our special guest for tonight. Okay. Are you excited to learn from her? So, ako super excited na rin. So, okay. Dorothea Taylor spent the majority of her drum career out of the spotlight, teaching lessons to budding Michigan drum students. That's until she partnered with Drumeo to create a powerful viral video addressing societal expectations in drumming culture. Napanood niyo ba yung video niya, yung what they call this? What's the title of the song? Toxicity. So, sobrang rock talaga. So, when you look at her, it doesn't like she's gonna bang the drum so hard with the heavy rock song. I love it. And, ayan nga, shocking audition with her unsurprising command of hard rock anthem garnering millions of views in 2 days. So, someone shared it to me also. So, I find her really, really cool. But before that video, I know her already. I'm following already her Instagram account. So, okay. And also, she's one of the Drumeo coaches. So, if you subscribe in Drumeo, you can take her drum lessons every week. So, she's one of the coaches. And get ready to hang with one of the internet's most renowned drum instructors and strengthen your hands with Dorothea's go-to drumline workouts.
Can you feel that?
Oh, pianos and violins are just that way.
Hi, I'm here to play on the worship team.
The organ's in the back.
Oh, sorry, are we being too loud?
No, I'm here for the audition for drums.
Oh.
everyone. My name is Dorothea Taylor. I've been drumming my whole life, and every one of these experiences have happened to me throughout my life. Drummers come in all ages, sizes, shapes, ethnicities, and regardless of how good you are, how old you are, we're all still part of a drumming family. So remember, don't judge a drummer or anybody by their looks. And always, always, always keep sharing your drumming passion to the world. See you guys later.
My fellow Filipino drummers, please give a warm welcome to Mrs. Dorothea Joes Taylor. Good evening, Mama. That's so cool. I
Hello.
love it.
It was
How
a
are
lot of fun.
you?
I'm
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
So,
Doing great.
how did you start playing the music? And who's the most influential person in your life? Who pushed you to play music?
Oh, I don't know that anyone pushed me. It was just me. I just loved music from the time I was just, a toddler. My mom and dad would say that they could tell that, I just loved music so much. So I started piano lessons when I was 8, and I took piano lessons until I was 13. But during that time, I kept watching drummers on TV, and I was watching all the parades that we had in our town, and I was watching the drummers, and I wanted to be a drummer, but I wondered if I would ever be able to be a drummer because I never saw a girl playing drums or any ladies playing drums. And so I just had that desire to do that, but I was worried that I was never going to do it. So by 8th grade, I didn't care what my friends, if they laughed at me or whatever. I went and I signed up with the drum and bugle corps, the marching drumline people, and they took me in, and there was no question. They said, "Okay, you want to sign up for drums? Go in this room." And I mean, that's when it started, and so I've been playing ever since I was 13 and enjoying every second of it. And
Okay.
then
Yes, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, and then you asked about, who influenced me. Back then, my parents didn't have to influence me. I was just, into music. But Buddy Rich was the famous drummer that I thought no one could ever be as good as Buddy Rich. He was just amazing. And he was always on TV on some of our programs. And so my and dad would wake me up like at 11:30 on a school night and say, "Buddy Rich is on." And there was a late night talk show. I don't know if you guys know. It was called the Johnny Carson Show. And it didn't come on until 11:30 at night. And I would run downstairs and watch Buddy Rich and then run back upstairs and get back into bed and go to sleep for school the next morning. And so he just
So,
inspired me.
yes, yes, all of us are inspired by Buddy Rich. He's also my favorite big band drummer.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you started with the marching band, right? Uh,
Well,
during that
yes, it was a
time,
drum and
yes,
bugle corps. Drum and bugle
yes.
corps. Because a
So how
band
is that?
has flutes and
Yes, go ahead.
clarinets and saxophones, where a drum and bugle corps just has bugles, whether they're soprano bugles or, French horn type bugles or things like that, baritone bugles. So there's no band instruments in a marching drum corps.
So have you played other instruments within the drum and bugle core instruments?
No, I just started on snare drum and played snare drum all the way through.
Oh, I see. Now, I want to ask you about your transition from marching drums to drum set playing. So how was it?
Hmm.
How did you transfer in? How did you focus on drum set after your marching career?
Well, well, I played in the drum and bugle corps until I was uh, basically 2 years out of high school. But I got my drum set when I was 16. I was in a junior in high school. I don't know what you guys, call the third year of high school. And But while I was playing marching drums, I was watching drummers on TV. I started watching. I think maybe Karen Carpenter was playing drums by then. The Carpenters, the famous
I love
brother
her.
and
I love
sister.
her. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I saw her playing, and so I was watching, how she was doing it, and other drummers. Then I started getting into, Led Zeppelin and Cream and Iron Butterfly and bands like that back then. And so I was just listening to what the drummers were doing. And then when my father finally bought me a drum set when I was a junior in high school, I came home and I started playing. The only thing that I had to get used to was, the bass drum and the hi-hat, getting those coordinated with each other because I was used to just playing with hands.
Yeah.
But I sat down and started playing right away, and I remember my parents saying, "Well, how do you know how to play those already?" And I had been air drumming, in my brain for a couple of years before I even got the drums, so I was ready.
Yeah. So how did your marching drums foundation help you in playing your drum set?
Oh, well, I feel like if I didn't have those rudiment trainings, uh, and hours and hours and hours each day of really extensive practice, it wouldn't have built up my chops. We call, if you have good hands, or even a trumpet player has chops, but they're with his lips. Anybody that has good chops is a good instrument player. And so those rudiments and marching, we would practice 8 to 10 hours a day before a big competition. And so that was just instilled in me. And then I was able to take those rudiments, even though you don't use all of the rudiments on a drum set, there are a lot of rudiments that you can use that a normal drummer who doesn't have rudimental training never thinks about using because they don't know about them. So that's why I'm here today, to really stress the importance of learning all of the extensive rudiments.
Okay, thank you for that. And that being said, I'm gonna give the stage to Mrs. Dorothea Taylor to teach you some rudiments and application.
Okay. All right. So, is everyone ready? Do you have your practice pads? If you don't have a practice pad and sticks in front of you, you have some hands and you can do some workouts with me. So, I always preach you have to learn the important rudiments, and the first important rudiments are single strokes, double strokes, and the first combination would be paradiddles. So if you've never heard of any of these, let me just show you. I'll get my practice pad. Okay, so single strokes, if I used matched grip, which is just where your hands match each other, this is called matched grip. And so you just start with your single strokes. But before you even start with your single strokes, you have to be holding the sticks correctly. There's a fulcrum area on the sticks that you get the most bounce out of. You don't want to hold it too high because this is what would happen if you drop the stick. Hardly anything. If I hold the stick back too far, like this, all the way down, this is what happens. So you're not getting any bounce. But these sticks are designed with a balance point for your fingers, and it's called the fulcrum area. And so in that fulcrum area, I've decided that this is where that fulcrum area is on that stick. So I'm going to put my thumb and my forefinger across from it. Now, some people use their fulcrum with their middle finger and thumb and kind of just have their forefinger just kind of hanging out, which is fine also. But in drum corps, we had to have our finger back. We couldn't have it stuck out. And so this is what I'm normally using when I'm playing. So I have my thumb, my forefinger, my fulcrum area, then I'm ready to go. And I'm palm down. So the palm of my hand is facing down when I come down on my stick. Then you're ready. You don't want any weird position when you're playing. You want to be totally relaxed. Just bring your arms up from your side, and there you are. So you have like a V, the letter V upside down, and you're ready to go. Now I'm on my knees, so I would normally have my practice pad like up here. So I'm kind of balancing it on my knee right now. So every day when you're a beginning drummer or you're a drummer that's trying to get better, you start slow and you start working your single strokes. Try to stay relaxed. Take some breaths. And you work every day. Every day. And you try to hold it as long as you can. So that way you're really warming up. If you set your metronome and you're just playing to a metronome, and then try going 2 or 3 minutes like that. Whoops. So that's just your regular single stroke roll with correct positioning of your hands. Then you get to the doubles. And so you're playing a double stroke roll, 2 on each hand. And notice I'm stroking each one of these. I'm just not dropping the stick and waiting for the stick to bounce twice. I am stroking these. So even if I did it in the air, you would be able to see that I'm playing da 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 double 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 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Nice clean doubles. And you want to start going as fast as you can with those doubles. But keep them clean, keep them clean. And then you can take them into a buzz roll. For concert work, you'd play a lot of buzz rolls. And then you slow back down. And you do those exercises every day. Notice that I'm changing into my traditional grip because just the way my pad is here, it's more comfortable for me to use snare drum traditional grip. So I also recommend that grip. I think every drummer should really know traditional grip because that's why it's called traditional grip, because that is what traditional snare drumming was all about way back many, many, many years ago. So I like to hold for my rudiment training, I always use traditional grip. Okay, so we mentioned paradiddles. And once you have your singles and your doubles down pretty well, that's when you can start experimenting with the 40 PAS drum rudiments. And the first easy one being paradiddle. 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 So when you say the word diddle, you're playing a double stroke. So single, single, and a double. A single, a double. And they're all played the same tempo, paradiddle, paradiddle. And you notice on the chart here, there's an accent, paradiddle, paradiddle. So your diddles are low in stick height. Don't play your paradiddles like this. Play them with an accent and then bring your sticks down in a downstroke. This is called a downstroke. And you leave it, you don't let it rebound up. You keep it in a downstroke and then you come up for the next accent. And then you work these. Work them, work them. And every day you're going to become faster and faster. Some people can play them 250 beats per minute. When I was a little younger, I did get them up to 230 beats per minute, but that's when you're really warmed up. And I'm not warmed up right now. I just got out of bed a little while ago. Okay, so you have your singles, your doubles, and your paradiddles. Now, what are you going to do with everything? Okay, so then you start delving in to the bigger rudiments. But let's stick with the paradiddles right now, and let's just do paradiddle diddle. So you're going to do, these are a lot of fun, and I'll show you how they sound on the drum kit. Diddle diddle. Yes, he has it up on the screen. Number, I think it says 19. Diddle diddle. Diddle diddle. So it says its own name. Paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle diddle. Instead of remembering right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, just say the words paradiddle diddle. It makes it so much easier. Bring that accent up, bring your wrist up. And I'm keeping everything else low. And the only way that I can play those diddles fast is because I have worked on my double stroke roll. So if you don't have your doubles quick and fast like this, then you're going to have problems playing your paradiddle diddle. So that's why the three most important rudiments are singles and doubles, and then introducing your paradiddle. So this is how cool they sound on the drum kit. Okay, so do you see how much fun learning your rudiments can be when you transfer them over to the drum set? It's just exciting. It's still exciting to me just to be able to do that. Okay, so now let's go to, of course, there are double paradiddles and triple paradiddles. I'll just start right there on the double paradiddle. Double paradiddle has 6 notes, just like the paradiddle diddle does, but these alternate from side to side. Diddle. So you're saying pair twice, which is double. Diddle. Diddle. We are on the double paradiddle. Diddle. 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 And my favorite thing to do with these is to put them on the set, but now I'm going to change those into a sextuplet. So it will sound like decka da decka da da, triplet tap, but I'm playing double paradiddle. Diddle, diddle, Paradiddle, paradiddle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So do you hear the difference in a regular double paradiddle is just straight 16ths. Paradiddle, paradiddle. I'll put a bass drum with it. That's a regular double paradiddle. Now a sextuplet paradiddle. You hear the difference? Hopefully you do. So on the kit, when you separate your hands, a rudiment like that totally changes. It's so awesome. So you see how much I enjoy just taking those rudiments and putting them on the kit. So when I separated my hands, you still want to keep it in that triplet feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it almost doesn't even feel like a regular double paradiddle. Double paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle. Instead, we're getting so from there, while we're on double paradiddles, let's look up drag paradiddle number 1. Let's see where that might be. Drag paradiddle number 1 is 36, number 36. Okay, so this is still part of a double paradiddle. Double paradiddle is paradiddle, but the drag is on the tap, drag, paradiddle, paradiddle, tap and a paradiddle, tap and a paradiddle. So it kind of jazzes up the regular double paradiddle. So when you go back into those drum set grooves, okay. Are you guys enjoying this? Hopefully. I wish I could see, some response, but I'm just going to keep on going. But I hope you're for those of you who don't know your rudiments, I'm hoping that a little light will go off thinking, "Oh, I do need to learn all of my PAS rudiments." I kind of compare it to if you were going to take piano lessons, but you only wanted to know these keys right here, and you only wanted to know just a couple of songs. You didn't want to expand and go up and down the keyboard. Or if you were playing guitar and you only wanted to learn just a few chords, 3 or 4 or 5 chords. Where on a guitar, you can go up and down the neck, and you're learning all kinds of different scales, minor scales and major scales and minor sevens, and there's so much more to learn. And it's exactly what a drummer has to do. You have to expand. You can't just be satisfied with just knowing a few different rudiments if you're going to be a real drummer. If you're going to be just someone who sits down behind a drum set occasionally and doesn't play in a band, doesn't have any opportunities to go out into the world and just show your talents, then you're fine. You don't need to do all of this. But don't you want to be your best? Everyone wants to be the best that they can be. And by being the best that you can be is to learn all of these fun rudiments. I call them the fun rudiments. Okay, so let me look on the list here and see what else is fun to play. When you're learning your Percussive Art Society rudiments, the first page, 1 through 15 are different rolls, 5-stroke roll, 2-4-5, 2-4-5, 2-4-5, 2-4-5, and 6-stroke rolls. And then you have your 9-stroke, your 10-stroke, 11-stroke, 13-stroke. But if I stop there at the 6-stroke roll, those are used all the time by many, many, many different drummers. And some drummers play them and don't even know that it was called a 6-stroke roll because they've just seen someone play it and heard it and so tried to copy it, but didn't really know what they were playing. So then I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to put that on the kit also. Okay? All right. So if you look at my copy of it anyway, it just shows you a 16th note, and then it shows a note in between with 2 lines, which would be a left, left, right, right, and then there's an accent on the left. So that is 1 6-stroke roll. Tap, 2, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it goes right into the next one. And they don't really sound good until you really get them up fast. And that's the normal speed. That's the marching speed. Now I'll show you what it's used as. A lot of songs have like a beat before the downbeat, and that's where your 6-stroke roll would come in. So you see, you can do a lot of different stuff with them. You can add some linear patterns with your bass drum, but the main thing that I've heard for years is dun dun dun. That's a 6-stroke roll. Dun dun dun. So how many of you use the 6-stroke roll all the time? Hopefully there's a bunch of you saying, yes, I do. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Question, can I interrupt you? So
Yes,
I notice
please.
your accents and taps. I love how you control it. Could you give us some exercise for us to control our taps and accents,
Okay. Okay.
especially the contrast? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good. So before you really start with your singles and your doubles, you usually learn from your instructor or, an instructional video like Drumeo that I teach for. There's so many lessons. And there are different strokes that a drummer uses. So the first stroke is when you get your fulcrum area, you're going to use your wrist, you're going to throw it down, and it just comes back because this is called the rebound stroke. That's the rebound stroke. Now, I mentioned the downstroke a little while ago. A downstroke is you strike it. I'll do it in slow motion. You strike, so you're going to pull your fingers in. Let's see if I can show. So when you come up with the rebound, your fingers are kind of relaxed. So I'm going to pull them back, and it's going to come, and it's going to hit, and then just come up maybe an inch and a half to 2 inches. That is called the downstroke. Don't leave it on the drum head. Don't do that. You don't want any kind of buzz with your stick. You want to strike it, and then when it starts rebounding, before it comes up, you grab a hold of the stick. Grab a hold tight. So then I've froze that stick from coming up any farther. So those are your downstrokes. Same thing goes with your left hand. So when you're playing, a good exercise to do is a down and then a tap. Taps are just little wrist flicks like that. So a down and a tap. Now come up, a down and a tap. Come up, get ready again, down, tap. Down, tap. Down, tap. Then the other stroke is called an upstroke. So when you're here to get ready, prepped for an upstroke or a stroke that you're up, you are going to go on the way up. It's like an accidental. When you come up, you just gradually tap it, bring the stick back up into the up position. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So far we've learned a downstroke, a tap, an upstroke, and what else is there? There's a buzz. That's when it's an intentional buzz. So you have down, tap, up, buzz. Those are your main. There's a buzz. These are all taps. So taps are just little movement of your wrist. They're not big. They're just called taps. So when you're playing these rudiments, they're so much more effective if you play them with accents and taps, downstrokes, and taps. Now, the last one, you're going to get up for that next accent. Come up. So there's two ways to do it. You can do it strictly just wrist, like pair, diddle, and I just came straight up. Or you can use the molar technique where it is pair, diddle, pair, diddle. So that molar technique, that molar stroke, is like a whipping action, like you have a whip. So I think most drummers, common drummers, don't understand the different type important strokes that we as drummers use. So in that 6-stroke roll, instead of everything being big, that's not really a 6-stroke roll. 6-stroke roll is da, 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 da. So my diddles, my rolls are low. Okay, so that's for a 6-stroke roll. And any roll, really, a 5-stroke roll would be down here with an accent. They're not all big either. They're not like this. It's zap, 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 zap. There's a 5. 7-stroke the same. Everything is still down and controlled. Okay, hopefully that helps you out on those. And same thing, when I was doing my paradiddle diddles. I'm keeping everything low except for that accent. Carmi, did you have something?
Okay, we have a question here from Mr. Junjun Regalado. He's one of the top drummers here in the Philippines. His question
Oh gosh.
is, can we apply double paradiddle sound in a 16th note context? So he says, thank you for demonstrating the sextuplet earlier.
Okay, yes. And it has a different feel because the bass drum is different. The bass drum is still going on a 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you see how, because there's 6 notes in a double paradiddle, so that your bass drum is playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, my double pedal is stuck. So let me do this. So take note to where that downbeat is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I worked with my students this week, that I have private students, and we played 4 single paradiddles, 4 double paradiddles, and 4 triple paradiddles. And I wanted them to get used to feeling the bass and hats, bass and hats. And I was looking to see if they would really mess up when they got to the double paradiddle, because it doesn't fall where they think it should fall. I was really surprised that 3 out of 4 got it. So this is how it would line up. So I'm going to show. Oh, did I do? I forgot to turn my thing on. I forgot to turn my camera on. Okay, I'm going to show you, and maybe you'll be able to see my foot. Okay, here's my foot. All right. So. Trying to see if I forgot to take my mic off. I don't know if it was really loud and blurry, but that's an example of putting that 6 against a 4/4. So that's your straight 16th note double paradiddle. Para-paradiddle, 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 para-paradiddle. Okay. So I was going to do a patafla-fla, which is number 27. Okay. So you would normally not think, oh, can I put patafla-flas on the drum kit? But I like them on the drum kit. I think they sound cool.
Wow, sounds so cool.
So just patafla-flas, just regular old marching patafla-flas, but it has that feel where it gets to that Latin sound, bump, 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 dun, dun. You can hear that dump, da dump, da dump, da dump, that real Latin feel. So I don't
Yes.
know how much time you want me to do, but those are some of the really fun rudiments that that I use all the time on the drum set.
Uh,
Flamacues, maybe too, and inverted paradiddles. Let's go back to paradiddles real quick. There's there's not only one way to play a regular paradiddle. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. You can play paradiddle, 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 or paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Then you take an inversion and you play paradiddle, 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 where it's right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left. So you're inverting the diddle. You're moving it in the middle. It still sounds like a paradiddle, but the sticking changes. And then you add accents, you move the accent over paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. And when you have a bass drum with it, and then you can invert the paradiddle to putting the diddle in the front of it. Diddle pair, diddle pair, diddle pair, diddle pair. So the diddle has the downbeat now. Then you can go diddle pair, or diddle pair, diddle pair, diddle pair, diddle pair. So just learning the different inversions and moving the accents over just on a regular single paradiddle can be fun also. So there's just so much fun, so many things that you can do with rudiments. And I did forget to show you guys when working out, really working your wrists, I always suggest, even though today I just used regular 5As, but when I'm doing warm ups first thing in the day, I have a heavier pair of sticks. Now, these are real compared to this, you can see the difference in the size and
Yes.
the
Is
width.
that a marching stick?
Yes. So this is a
Yeah.
marching stick. This is a ProMark Scott Johnson, and they're really heavy and clunky feeling. But when you are working out, you want some weight. Just like if you guys watch baseball, the batter will put a weight on his bat, and you see him practicing swinging. Whoops, he's practicing, and then he'll take that off, and then he gets behind the plate, and really the bat feels light, and then he really can hit the ball where it takes off. So it's the same thing with practicing with something heavier. It really works your wrists, and then when you pick up a regular size stick, oh my goodness, your sticks just go so much faster because you've just done a good hour's workout with your heavier stick. So I think every drummer should have a heavy pair of marching drumsticks to work out their rudiments on a pad. Don't play it on your drum set because they're too heavy and they can break your
Yes.
cymbals and mess up your drum heads and everything. So that's the difference in the different size sticks.
Yeah, maybe last question from the audience. I think you answered it a while ago. Ma'am, what stick did she use? It's 5A Pro Mark. She used it
Yep.
on the drum set. Then a while ago, when she demonstrated it on the pad, it's a Pro Mark marching stick. So that's it. Marvin D. Oliveros.
Yeah. And this ProMark, if they're interested in the ProMark, they're called Rebound, ProMark Rebound stick, and you can get a 5A or a 7A or whatever. But the word rebound really, really makes a difference in this stick. It rebounds really well compared to their other sticks. I really like the weight of them. They're perfect.
Okay, Mama Dorothea, can you show us your gears that you've used tonight or their morning there in America?
Can I show you what? I didn't hear.
Can you show us your gears that you used tonight?
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Everyone asks about this snare drum. Everyone. So that's what you're speaking of. My gear that I'm playing. Is that right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So everyone asks about this snare drum, and it is a Pearl Dennis Chambers signature drum, and I've had it for probably 20 years. It was when they first came out, and I think you might still be able to find them around, but I'm not sure whether he still has a signature drum. But it's a 14 by 6.5, and it has the best. Oh my gosh, it just has the best. And so, what's cool about this is it has different settings. Like this is the first one. Then, if you want the snares tighter, you go to the second, and there's the third, which is really tight. So I normally have it on the first one, but then on the back side, there's another one that you can adjust. So you can play around with the different tensions, and then set the one on the back side for a certain tension, and just because if you're a snare drummer, you should know that just the tensions in the wires make a big difference when you're playing, and for different volumes or different styles of music. And so this one has it. You just flip that over if you want a tighter sound. So I've used this drum for a long time, but it still looks brand new. I love it.
I think that's your favorite snare.
It is. It really
Yeah,
is.
sounds cool.
Okay. And then um I'll show you my can he come over to the yeah. So these hi-hats are the Peisty Formula 602s, and they're the 15-inch Modern Essentials. These are what Vinnie Colaiuta, one of my favorite drummers, this is what Vinnie Colaiuta designed. They're not the regular 602s, they're the Modern Essential 602s. And then this one is brand new. I just got it when I was in Michigan. So that's the one that my grandson opened on Instagram and was pretending that he was me.
So
So
cute.
this one has a really pretty sound. I'll turn this off. And then this is little effects. This is a 10-inch.
Wow.
It's called a PSTX. It really came on top of this one over here. This is the 14 PST. So they're supposed to be on top of each other, but I kind of like them. I kind of like this by itself, so I separated
Yes.
it. And then this one up here is a Peisty Masters, extra thin. Um, somebody suggested that I get this 18-inch extra thin, and it's really pretty too. Then I love this ride. It's really, really dry, and I've never really liked ride cymbals that resonate way too much. So this is perfect. It has really good stick definition.
It's a dry sound.
So that's the Peisty um, Masters dry sound.
Yeah.
Extra dry. No, it says just dry. Masters dry ride. And then this one right here is a big old 22-inch. It's the Masters. It's called the Masters Swish. And then I have some other Peisties also on the other drum sets, but the camera won't reach that far over. And then I have the Pearl double pedal that I really like. It's not an expensive Pearl pedal, but I can't remember what it's called. But it has the best feel of any bass drum pedal that I've ever had. My foot just works well with this bass drum pedal. Then I have the Yamaha EAD. I don't know if you can see this. Zoom in on this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of hiding behind my cymbals here. But you can get so many cool sounds with this EAD. There's, I think, 45 presets on there if anyone's interested. I'll give you a sample of just some of the things that it does. so I can hear what it's doing. This is the first one. This is arena, and it has a lot of like reverb.
Wow. Wow.
And then
So cool. Delay.
I'll find one of my favorites.
Mama, what are the sizes of your toms?
I have an 8 inch by, oh, I don't know if, I don't think it's an 8 by 8. It might be an 8 by 6. And then a 10 by 8, a 12 by 9, and a 14 by 14.
Oh,
These are
there's a
emerald
personal
green.
question here from
I don't know if you
Zarina
can tell.
Hagos. Was there ever a time where you started losing your passion for drumming and were already thinking about quitting? If yes, how did you overcome it? What advice can you give young drummers like me who have just started learning this beautiful craft?
I don't think I ever, my passion for drumming has just been so high that I don't think I've ever thought about quitting. Uh, when I got married, I was in a band, and then we moved. And so for that year, when we moved way out to another state, uh, I had my drums with me. I took them with me, but I didn't play in a band or anything. But I ended up teaching at a local music store, so that I was in contact with students. And then I started having children. But when I had the first and second child, my husband was at home, and so he took care of the children because I started playing late, like 9 o'clock at night. So the kids would already be like ready. So I was in bands, when I was even pregnant with a couple of children. And then I started uh, teaching high school drumline in 1986 when my youngest was just going into high school when he was 14. And I just have kept up with things. So, I've always been involved in teaching. And so, even though I haven't been on the road with like a famous band or anything, I've always kept just I worked in a local music store, and so the drummers that would come in would just keep me inspired also. And then I would show them rudiments, and then they would thank me and they would be excited. They'd come back to the store, and I'd show them something else, how they could apply it to their drums. And I would help drummers pick out cymbals and drum sets, and I would show them how to tune them. And so I've just kept involved. And so, maybe stay with people that are musicians. Go to your local music store. If I don't know how hard it is in the Philippines to go to a music store, I don't know, but to stay in with it. I would buy Modern Drummer magazines for years and years and keep up with all the latest equipment. I would keep up with the drummers. I would read their interviews. I would learn from, they would have music written in those Modern Drummer magazines. And so I've just always been around it. And then I got asked to teach uh, the beginning drummers in the middle school, like sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade. So I've been doing that for almost 30 years. And so I really haven't had time to stop playing drums. I just I just love it, and I've just kept active in it.
You're so blessed to have a supportive husband in playing drums. So I have heard some interesting story about you because I watched some of your podcast. Uh about the band of your marching band of your son that you helped. Can you tell us about that? I want the Filipino drummers to hear that. How did you help
Oh,
them?
oh when so he was playing the saxophone in middle school, and then when he got to high school, uh, I went to the school and just could hear the band, and the drummers were terrible. And I didn't know whether I should go up to the band director or not, but finally I went up to him and said, "I play the drums, and I would be happy to come and work with your drummers," because the drummers were playing just, ooh, they didn't know any rudiments. And so the drumline was playing things like this. That's all they could play. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, they need help." And so I stayed there for 10 years, and we had high marks for every competition that we did. Even if the band didn't have the horns and stuff didn't have real high marks, our drum scores were at the very top because the kids were good because they practiced, and I taught them all the rudiments that they need to, and I helped write some of their cadences, and it just changed that drum line from what they were to. And so since then, the drum line has been good. Now this was 84, and so since then, the drummers have always kept up with their rudiments. And there are some drummers that used to be in that line that are like in Nashville, Tennessee, playing now with famous people, and they started, in that band. So,
So
that's
yeah,
what I did.
yeah. So, you know what? To my fellow Filipino drummers, I'm really, really inspired in Mama Dorothea's life because all these years she spent her time teaching, helping, especially that I love that story, that marching band story of her son that she helped, and after that, they won the competitions that they joined. So Mama Dorothea has really a big heart, and all the blessings that she's receiving now, she really deserves it because before she gave it all, and I think now is the reaping season for Mama Dorothy. I'm so happy to see you really receiving those blessings and enjoying life and enjoying the drums and your family. I really, really love it.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, Mama Dorothea, where can we follow you? Can you tell us your social media accounts so that some of my fellow Filipinos can follow you?
Okay. So in both TikTok and Instagram, it is the same account, just all lowercase letters. It's Taylor, Taylor, dot Dorothea, Dorothea. So Taylor dot Dorothea.
I'll type it
Both
on the comment
TikTok.
section.
Okay. Yeah. So both Instagram and TikTok. And I have 1.1 million followers on TikTok now. I'm so excited. And then my Facebook is, you kind of mentioned it. It's Dorothea Jose Taylor. I put
Yes.
Jose because that used to be my maiden name. And I wanted, people from my hometown to know who I was because they don't know that I'm a Taylor. So on Facebook, it's Dorothea Jose Taylor. On YouTube, once in a while, I put something on YouTube, and I think you can just follow Dorothea Taylor on there or DT Drummer Lady.
Okay, I'll type it on the
I,
comment section.
I started out with DT Drummer Lady, but I think I changed it to uh, Dorothea Taylor also.
Dorothea Taylor space DT Drummer Lady, right?
Yes, on
Okay.
YouTube. And that right
Okay.
there, Taylor dot Dorothea. Yep, that's TikTok and Instagram.
So here's the YouTube. Okay. Mama Dorothy, thank you very much for your precious time. Thank you for spending your time with us, especially early morning there in your place. You're supposed to be sleeping now. Thank you so
No,
much for your generosity.
I'm supposed to be eating breakfast, so that's what I got to go and do.
Yes.
I'm hungry.
What will be your breakfast?
Some eggs and bacon.
Wow, my favorite. Yeah. I have it on my fridge as well. Okay. Mama Dorothea, thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending some time with the Filipino drummers.
Well, thank
We
you.
love you. We really,
Thank
really
you for
love you.
having me.
You have a really big followers here in the Philippines. You're so famous here. Yeah, they really,
That
really love you.
that's amazing. That it
Yeah.
really amazes me.
And personally, as a female drummer, before I met you in our Facebook group, Drummer Girls United. So
Uh-huh.
before that, honestly, I'm 35 now. But I think before, when I reach 50, am I still playing the drums? When I reach 70, am I
You
still
have
gonna play drums? Then I saw
yes,
you. Then the answer is yes, because
yes, yes.
you really inspired me. Thank you so much for existing.
I always wonder why people stop because so many people say, uh, "You've inspired me to pick up my sticks after 30 years." And my question is, well, why did you stop? I just can't imagine stopping completely. If you love something, why quit? Why stop?
Yeah, maybe because of some circumstances that sometimes
Yeah,
they cannot control the situation. They just quit the drums, and I think that's the worst decision because
it
if your passion is drumming, that's the food for your soul. It keeps you
it is.
better. It keeps you
If
sane.
you
If you,
if you
yeah,
have a if you have a down day or even a headache, a bad migraine headache, if you come and get behind your drums and put some music on and play, when you get up and leave and go back downstairs or wherever, you've forgotten about your headache. It's completely gone. It just takes the stress out. It's just amazing.
yes, yes. Okay, maybe we're not gonna take so much of your time for you to take your bacon and eggs already.
Yeah, that's right.
Again, thank you very much, Mama Dorothea. Let's give her a warm of applause. Okay,
Thank you.
so before we end, guys, we just want to thank the people behind this stream, Mr. Ryan Peralta, and some of the past Philippines officers, our president, Mr. Saturn Chamson, and Vice President, Mr. Isaac De Alva, Secretary, Ms. Zara Lachica. Thank you very much for making this happen. Okay. Mama Dorothea, do you want to thank some sponsors or do you want to thank some uh, people?
Well, I could thank just because, being on social media, I now am endorsed by Promark by Diodario, which is awesome company, and now tamburo drums from Italy, handmade from Italy, which are over in my far corner over there. I don't have them mic'd up yet, and the Paiste cymbals are just totally amazing. I've always loved Paiste, but just never got a chance to purchase them, and so I'm just so happy to be able to play Paistes. And the biggest help in me getting known and getting out there and being viral has been Drumeo, which is an online drum school where I was invited to be a coach for this whole year. And the year, I can't believe the year is getting close to ending. And I've enjoyed going live every Tuesday. So if any of you are interested in taking lessons, it's very affordable compared to private lessons. It, it's not that much per month, and you have access to not just one person, but their whole, everything that they've published in online under Drumeo. And so I'm just so grateful to them for for the opportunities that is arisen since then, since that viral video.
Oh yeah. Okay. Before I forget, I also want to thank the Drum Club TV for making this happen. Thank you very much. Before I forget, my colleagues from Drum Club TV, Alvin Meneses, RJ Mendoza, Marvin Datar, and John Ruiz. Okay, Mama Dorothea, parting words for the Filipino drummers.
Enjoy what you do, but try to be the best that you can be.
So yes, yes. We're going to take note of that. Thank you, Mama Dorothea. Thank you, Filipino drummers, for joining us in our stream. And this will be, I think, this will be just on the Facebook group. You can play the replay. You can watch the replay anytime you want. So that's it for tonight. Enjoy drumming and enjoy the new lessons that we learned from Mama Dorothea. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.